Let me take you far away from here. Let me take you to the Middle East. A few weeks ago, I was at the Satari camp for Syrian refugees in the border in the north of Jordan. It is a closed camp which is controlled by the Jordanian army. It is in the middle of the desert. Today, it is home for 30,000 people who are fleeing war in Syria. Asif is one of them. Just imagine for a second that you are Asif, and that you want to know what is happening back in Syria, that you want to know what is happening with your family, with your friends, with your property. You know, again, just for a second, okay? Imagine that you receive a food package, but you don't know what is going to be the next time you're going to get one in your hands. At the same time, you have a mobile phone, but there is no electricity. There are a lot of rumors, but you just don't know what to trust. Where would you turn for information? Syrian refugee camps in the Satari camp are living in an information void. They are left in the dark. They feel very helpless, and they feel even more angry. How would you feel? Unfortunately, this is not exclusive to Jordan. I've witnessed this reality in many countries around the world, in places like Sri Lanka, like South Sudan, like Central African Republic, like Tunisia, like Dadaab in Kenya. But let me take you back to Jordan for a second. Communication with refugees is close to zero at this point in time. This really bugs me, and it really makes me wonder, with all the billions of dollars, and more importantly, with all the talent, all the experience, and all the good heart put it in emergency response around the world, why does it work the way it does? And of course, there is no single, easy answer. But at the same time, I do believe that there are two glaring omissions in emergency response today. Number one is access to timely and accurate information for disaster-affected communities. And number two, and this is the hardest one, my friends, is about effective communication between local communities and aid providers. For the last 8 years, since I looked like that, back at the time in Sri Lanka, I've been working in humanitarian communications and emergency relief in more than 10 countries in Asia, in Africa, in the Middle East, in Haiti. I work for Internews, a non-profit organization that supports local media around the world. We strongly believe that access to timely, accurate, relevant, and locally produced information improves lives and transforms communities. As director of humanitarian information projects, and I have today the luck of having my mentor, Mark Frohar, around in the public, we do work with local media. We provide them with training and also with equipment to be able to report on complex humanitarian situations. They train us back on how to do that properly. With journalists like Yeho, we connect with humanitarian organizations, with local government officials. We produce radio programs and other means of communication to connect directly with survivors through SMS, through social media, through audience research. And in this hyper-connected world, when there are more than 5 billion mobile phones around the world, I do believe that the single piece of technology that is proved to work the best in emergency response is local media. Well, don't get me wrong, okay? I mean, this is not a silver bullet. And we love mobile phones and community mobile access. But local guys like Yeho, they have the capacity of transforming their communities. They speak the local language. They're trusted by local communities. They are very conversant with the culture and with the dynamics. Unfortunately, local media and new information and communication technologies are still vastly underutilized and largely untapped by humanitarian organizations. Historically, the humanitarian community has failed to realize that communication is one of the most powerful forms of aid. In my wildest dream, if you want to ask me, let me tell you anyway, and I'm not alone on that one, believe me. We want to transform the way aid is provided. We're going to make it more effective. We're going to make it, therefore, more transparent and more accountable. And this is the exciting thing. We want to put local guys, local communities, and also local media initiatives, wherever those are, at the core of it. We believe that all the ASIFs around the world, they need information and communication as much as they need food, water, medicine, and shelter. Communication is aid. Thank you very much.
Thank you.